Hey there, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We'll get going in just a minute, kind of waiting for everyone to file in here. See lots of people coming in, including, yep. All right, good. I think we got lots of folks. All right, good. I think just about everyone's come in. So welcome everyone to today's Renewals workshop. So I'm Ryan Graham, part of the team here with PropFuel. We have a number of other poppies, as we call ourselves at PropFuel, or PropFuel employees on with us as well. So we'll be kind of breaking stuff down in just a couple of minutes, breaking into our breakout rooms to really get going. This is a really extremely hands-on session. So before we do that, I just want to kind of cover a couple of things. So I'm going to share my screen. All right. So a couple of things with regard to what we're doing today. So we're going to take about 10 or 15 minutes to just kind of go through intros, welcome, some stuff like that. We're going to go into breakout rooms for about 90 minutes. I have one ask of everyone in just a moment. And then once we leave here today, we get people's campaigns launched. Then basically folks from our team are going to be following up over the next week or two to go over the results with you, and just basically walk through everything that we see from the campaign, as it'll be running and in a live executing state. My ask is, as I talk for the next 10 minutes or so, if you can write into the chat whether your organization for this campaign is going to be focusing on renewals for individual members or organizational, company members. That's a really critical point because the playbooks that we have for those are pretty different. The process for it is pretty different. And what we want to do is break people into breakout rooms with similar groups. It's kind of clunky if we have half of the people in a breakout room that are focused on individual members and half focused on company members. It makes it it dilutes it a little bit. So thank you for that. All right. A couple of quick expectations for today. So basically, like I said, we're here to build a renewals campaign. When you get into your breakout rooms, like anything, I'm sure there's all sorts of stuff going on and maybe things blowing up in the background, not literally, but figuratively. If you can just stay focused in on what we're doing, knowing there's a lot of stuff going on. Cameras on, if possible, technologically possible. It just helps to kind of engage and see everyone. And this should really be fun. This shouldn't be stressful. This should be fun. A little bit about PropFuel. So if you're not familiar with us, so we have about 260 or so clients. They're all associations. Our association clients span a very wide spectrum in terms of size, vertical, all of that sort of stuff. What we see is associations really want to be able to present a relevant and a highly personalized experience for members. And members are kind of, in a way, seeking out value that is relevant for them. And we use the phrase here a lot that a member's last experience, oftentimes as a consumer, is now their expectation when they come to the association. And that experience is probably with, for better or worse, Amazon or Netflix or something like that, where it's highly personalized. And that becomes kind of the set-in expectation now when they come to you. And there are really two things that kind of hold associations back from being able to do that. One is data. Most associations have a lot of data, interestingly, but in a lot of cases, some of it is outdated, some of it's incomplete. A lot of it lives at a surface level, in terms of it being transactional or behavioral data, which lacks a deeper understanding of members. And at the same time, the tools that associations use to communicate with members oftentimes are very focused on what we would call broadcasting information out to them. So email tools like Informs and Real Magnet and HubSpot, awesome tools. What their focus is to automate campaigns to tell members about stuff. And what that typically turns into is telling all members about everything. So members don't feel like they're getting stuff that is relevant to them. They feel like they're in the trough of what everyone else is getting. So symptoms of that, things that kind of, come from that, are things like, naturally, decline in member retention, slower growth, lack of ability to acquire new members, members who are disengaged or opting out of your communication, or who are telling you, we're getting way too many emails from you guys. If you hear that, that's okay. You're like every association, I would say. The interesting thing about that is That's actually not the real problem in most cases we see with our clients, is that is a symptom of a different problem, which is the members are getting too many emails that are totally irrelevant to them and have nothing that they're interested in. It's not that they're getting too many emails. Members kind of don't mind getting more emails when it's stuff that really is relatable and relevant back to them. The piece that we see that's missing that leads to what we do is the ability to truly listen to a member, to understand the needs, the intentions, the motivations, the intent of a member, not guess at it, because behavioral data allows us to, or forces us to guess at it. You send someone an email and, you look at, did they open the email? Did they click a link? Did they click a series of links? That's all guesswork. What we want to try to do is get much more to definitive data. And so our process for that our platform allows for is this process of ask, capture, act. So basically what we're doing is we are asking members questions primarily over email. We also have an SMS component, text messaging. And later this year, we're going to be introducing a really cool product around website engagement. So extending what we do to the website. So we ask members questions, which allows them to answer in email with a simple 1 or 2 clicks. We capture the insight from that. We're capturing the needs of a member, those different things that they're telling us. And that gives us the ability to take action, not generic action, relevant, individualized, personalized action, where we're doing things like leading them to the next step that would be relevant, or presenting them with content that aligns with what they told us, or maybe curating that data by tagging them in PropFuel, adding them to another campaign, or maybe updating a field inside of your AMS, or adding them to a targeted, segmented campaign inside of your marketing automation system. So there's all these things that we can do. And what we do relates back really well to a lot of different use cases. I'm not going to read all these. You can see them. And this is just, there's more beyond this, but these are some of the use cases that our clients are leveraging PropFuel for. And what I would say is any individual PropFuel client is probably leveraging, I don't know, 4 to, and Ashley, Melissa, Megan, chime in if you think differently on this, is leveraging somewhere around 4 to 6 of these use cases generally at the client level. What we're here obviously today to talk about is member renewals. Sorry, water break. Member renewals. So I'm going to talk talk about member renewals for about 3 minutes. And then if we're good for getting into breakout rooms, then we'll kind of get over there. So the problems with the traditional renewal process today is it's a really slow kind of, laborious process, or much more so than it has to be. Typically, there's a lot of manual steps and a lot of manual follow-up involved in it. What's oftentimes happening is an association is sending an email like this, and I have a few other versions of it. But basically what's happening is, a member or members are coming up for renewal, and you send them an email either out of your AMS, like a transactional email, or you send them an email out of Informs or Real Magnet or wherever else. And the template of it is basically standard. It's hey, your membership's coming up for renewal. Here's all the awesome stuff we don't want you to miss. Here's the 8 to 10 member benefits that are phenomenal that we provide. We want to make sure you still have access to these. Click here, renew your membership today. So here's a version of this, an old version from a client. Here's a series of other versions, ASA's version, a different version from ASA. As a member of a lot of associations, this is, oftentimes what I get. The inherent problem with these is a few things. One, you're presenting a call to action that is basically like, and a client said this to us one time, and I think it's an interesting analogy. You're presenting an option that is a home run versus giving them the ability to kind of hit a single. And what that means is kind of weird language, but what that means essentially is like you're asking for everything right now, but maybe the member doesn't have the time to do it right now. So they're going to blow past the email or snooze it and just keep snoozing it into eternity. You need to give them the ability to do something that's going to baby step their experience forward. So something that's going to say, hey, I'm not planning on renewing. I don't know if I'm going to renew. Yeah, I'm going to renew, and then allow the association to do some work to take you forward. The other challenges are this doesn't allow for any understanding of the intent of the member. So if a member clicks renew today and then they don't actually renew, or they open the email, oftentimes associations try to read the tea leaves of that and say, well, we know they're planning on renewing. They opened the email. opens don't really mean a whole heck of a lot these days. And at the same time, clicking that link really doesn't tell you anything definitive. What PropFuel does really effectively in this process is something like this. This is the first email in this client's campaign or with PropFuel. We're asking, are you planning to renew? Each one of these answers has a different path that it takes someone down. If I say, no, I'm not going to be renewing this year, it branches them to a question to say, why are you hesitating? And then if the option, for example, is I'm retiring, it's going to point them to tell them about the retirement membership package and how they can take advantage of that because they may not have known about it. So what this sequence also does really effectively, and this we'll get into this campaign, you'll be getting into this today. This is like a 5-part automated campaign. We're talking about things like, is now a better time to renew? 30 days later, what's holding you back is the third question here. Would you like to rejoin? Did you know your membership lapsed? What's interesting about those questions are that presents a lot of opportunity. The lapsed one, it's amazing how many members got maybe the 8 transactional emails, but didn't even know their membership had lapsed. So there's some really creative things that we can do with all this stuff. I got like 2 more minutes of stuff to talk about, but before I do, Robson team, are we pretty good with breakouts? Or are you kind of still pulling strings in the background?
Still pulling strings.
Okay.
If you haven't let us know, could you please let us know who you plan on targeting in your renewals workshop today, whether it be individuals or organizational members? Be great. I'd appreciate it.
This is like a comedy hour where you're on and you don't know how long your set is, and so you have to like keep going, but you're not sure if you should keep going, but you do. This is moderately stressful. Okay, what a lot of this allows our clients to do is make very informed or data-driven decisions. So like these are some of the results from that client campaign where I was showing you kind of the external steps within it. So they had an average click-through rate of 27%. And just for context sake, there's 2 numbers that you would look at in your existing email marketing system. You'd look at open rate. So their open rate was 61%. Open rate's kind of like this maybe red, yellow, green kind of like light. It's like a general indicator. It doesn't carry a lot of weight beyond that because of various other like technological changes and privacy settings and things like that. The thing that really matters that is closest to conversion is click-through rate. So the average association click-through rate is about 2 to 2.5% at best. So again, we got an average click-through rate of 27%. That's what we call response rate in PropFuel. And then the first one got a 38%. The other thing that's really interesting is we have at a campaign level, we have something called engagement rate. So this campaign had 5 steps. 56% of the members engaged with at least one step / question and email inside of this 5-step campaign. That's pretty astounding. Like most associations don't really have a data point around that they can compare that against. So it's a really new kind of innovative data point to be able to look at. But what I do know is that's a phenomenal number. Now, this then obviously had all the underlying data of like the answer data that allowed us to do different things. What's also unique about this is if you think about your current renewal process at your association, you get to a point where members are in kind of like this dormant or maybe getting close to a lapse stage. And you have to start doing all these really manual kind of off the grid things like phone calls and mailers and all sorts of different things like that. And oftentimes, if you're doing the phone calls or you're outsourcing them, you're just picking up the phone and saying, hey, you haven't renewed yet. We want to make sure we don't lose you. We love you. And what this allows you to do is call and say, hey, we know you're planning on, you told us you weren't planning on renewing. We know you're retiring. Congrats. That's awesome. Did you know we have a retirement package? Because we'd really still love for you to be a part of the organization. That's a completely different call and tone to that member than the generic, hey, we know you're planning on, we know you haven't renewed yet. So it gives a lot of insight for enriching all of those other steps, which is really powerful. All right, so just some housekeeping stuff about PropFuel. So we have about 40 or so integrations, integrations with all the primary AMS platforms, integrations with most of the different email marketing and marketing automation systems, other integrations like Association Analytics, their Acumen platform, Feather, a bunch of other platforms. So What I will say is our integrations, we call them connectors because they're not the typical association integrations where you say, yeah, we've integrated with that platform before, and you have to get someone from your tech team and the AMS together, and then then people go off for 6 weeks, and we have no idea what anyone's doing, and then 6 weeks later, out pops an integration. It's the polar opposite of that. It's point and click integrations that you can manage, set up, manage, and configure through our admin system. Takes a matter of minutes to do so. Full kind of visibility into what you're doing, not relying on developers who are doing stuff that you have no idea what they're doing and then how to manage it on an ongoing basis. So pretty cool what we're doing there. From a service standpoint, we have and this is actually really cool. This is something that we take a lot of pride in. So every one of our clients has a dedicated client success manager. And so you'll see here today, Melissa, Megan, and Ashley, and then we have another CSM starting in a couple of weeks. What's awesome is they've all worked at associations before for a bunch of years and in varied roles, from membership to field engagement to conferences and events to communications. So they pretty much know what it's like to be in your shoes, and that's really critical because, as we all know, associations operate a little bit differently. It's not a judgment statement, not better or worse, but just differently than other businesses. So that understanding is kind of baked into the way that they approach and work with clients. From a process standpoint, all of our clients get a fully managed onboarding. So basically what we do is we start off with a kickoff meeting. We are really focused on understanding the low-hanging fruit, high leverage use cases that we can start with a client. And basically, then we take those into a series of what we call live working sessions, where we'll start, and it'll be either weekly or biweekly, just depending on kind of a client's demand and schedule and such. But basically, the process and some of the goals around that are we want to have your first campaign up and running within about 3 weeks or so, and it's very easy to do with how easy our integrations are to set up and the process that we have and some of the other tools that we have in the platform. Then we want to focus on deeper adoption, training, building out additional campaigns, analyzing them. And typically that whole process, that onboarding, lasts about 2.5 to 3 months. Again, we're not waiting 3 months to kick off our first campaign. That's happening within a matter of a couple of weeks, but then we're building additional campaigns and going from there. And then you have access to that client success manager ongoing for support, strategy, that sort of stuff, bouncing ideas off of. But most of our clients become pretty autonomous at that point. We do have something called managed services, which probably 15 to 20% of our clients leverage, where your client success manager is your full administrator of PropFuel. So they're doing all the work for you on an ongoing basis to build your campaigns, build out all the components of them, manage it, and do all of it to your guidance, run it by you, and then get the sign off to be able to launch it. So some of our clients use that. Oftentimes what happens is they'll use that when they're in a pinch. So like they'll have a staff person leave, and then it's like, hey, we need some help here. And it just makes sense to leverage PropFuel for that. So it just depends, but that's always an option as well. All right, Robson, how we doing?
Sorry, we're doing good. I think we're just about ready. It looks like there are going to be 2 rooms, organizations and individuals, run by Melissa and Meg. So yeah, if you're ready, I think I'm ready.
I'm ready. Hey, again, like I said, have fun, everyone. It's a really cool process. Like some of our prospective clients that have ultimately become clients, and even if they don't, doesn't frankly matter, like have gotten really cool results out of this. So like this is a really cool thing. So we hope you value it. We hope you carry it forward, and it's something that can be of value to your organization. So thanks so much.
All right,
I'm gonna stop sharing. Robson, all yours.
Yeah, and with that, I'm opening up the rooms. For those of you who didn't respond, you're gonna hang back here and I'll put you in the correct. But here we go.
Enjoy, everyone.
Me. All right, let's see here. Okay, finally. That's what it's supposed to do, is run through all the steps. So I apologize for the hold up there. All right. If you needed to rerun it, let me know when you are done. All right, everybody ready? Anybody need more time? All right. So once you run a blueprint, we have a pop-up here that just reminds you this has some AI generated content in it. You need to review everything and make sure it didn't make up lies. We want to make sure all of your information is correct. So we can just go ahead and close this pop-up. And you can see here in this campaign now, it is in draft mode. When your campaign is in draft mode, nothing will ever send out. Once you're ready to go live, you will eventually go from draft mode to live. And then you see here we have a date that has been auto-populated. This date means nothing while you're in draft mode. However, this is where you will schedule when you want your check-in to send. So even if you're in draft mode and this date comes and goes, nothing will happen. It will sit in here. It won't actually let you go live with the campaign. If it's a date in the past, you'll have to reschedule it. But what I want to do is we will start looking through the question and the actions and the templates that we have set up. So the way we sort of review and edit our campaigns is a three-step process. And the first one is what's the question you're asking? We already have that done here. The second part is what actions happen after they click a response. So we're going to get into that in a minute. And then the last step is reviewing our templates and testing it. So what I want to point out here is on this check-in question, the two most important buttons that you're going to want to know about and remember are these two on the far right corner, the button with the right arrow in it and your gear icon. So the button with the right arrow opens up a slider so you can see a snapshot of the question and then all of our workflows below. So if they select this option, this action then happens. Under the gear icon is where our templates are and where we test the email. So I want you all to go ahead and click this button with the right arrow. And let's review the question. We're asking, so again, this is going to primary contacts or billing contacts at a company that is a member. We're asking them, will you be renewing your membership this year? Yes, we'd like to renew now. I'm no longer the primary contact. We are undecided or need more time. No, we won't be renewing this year. If you need to edit any of these options or the question itself, you will just click outside of that slider window and click the pencil button. Let's say I'm going to billing contacts. So I want to say I'm no longer the billing contact. You can just make your updates here and then save your question. And then you'll see if you make any changes to your question, you're going to get a red exclamation point letting you know we have some mapping that needs to be updated. And it tells you exactly what we need to update here. We don't have this option anymore, so I just need to remap it here. All right. And then what we're going to do is work our way from the top to the bottom to review all of our actions here. So you see here, we're going to start off with if the question answered matches, yes, we'd like to renew now. We're going to immediately show some text on a landing page. So go ahead and click where it says show text on landing page. and you can see what we're going to display. So this text is going to display on a page that has your logo on it. So it looks like it's you. We're saying that's so great. We're happy to hear that. You can easily renew your membership online. So it's put in that renewal URL. And then we're also letting them know we're going to send them an email with this link in case they need it. And then also, if they need assistance, how they can reach you at. So you'll have your membership email address, and then your phone number will be where mine says test.
Hey, Megan, can I ask a question? I don't know
Absolutely.
if I can interrupt. Can you integrate information from your database where I'm a CMS? Can you integrate data from, you can easily renew online using your login and password, which you can obtain by clicking. Can we integrate names in this screen here too, or
Yep,
will it
you sure can.
provide for them? Okay.
Yep, we call those personalization tokens.
Yeah.
And let's say I want to add their first name here. I can then, this little driver's license button in the top corner, we have all of these tokens in here. We would just create the field and map it to your AMS. So if we want to pull in their username or their expiration date, we could put that in here too. But I could do first name here. So as we edit, you see this first name token.
Yeah.
But once we go live, you'll see the first name in there. But yeah,
Okay.
you can add tokens for anything we can map to. And then also, if we can't map to it in the AMS, we can manually upload information into a field. So
Awesome.
then it displays that. So I have some clients who want to do a custom renewal URL. So they just click it and it's their invoice. So usually we can't access that through the API. So we just upload it to their records.
Our members aren't the best when it comes to either individually renewing their memberships. They've got to send it to 3 people first, remembering their login and password, all the fun stuff when it comes to corporate folks. So adding these custom fields in may save us a step or two. So it's great.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yep, great question. All right, I'm just going to save that. So if you have any edits, go ahead and make those. And then we're just going to go down to the send email action. So whenever we're asking them to take action that has some money involved, whether they're registering for an event or renewing their membership, we like to stack on this send email action because they may not be able to immediately pay. They may not have access to their credit card. They're busy, who knows? So we just want to drop the link in their inbox. And we want it to seem conversational. So it looks like a plain text email coming from me. We have the subject line, which you can edit and also add those tokens in here if we want to add their first name or whatever you need to. And then we have our email that's generated. We're thrilled to hear your company is planning to renew its membership. We could even add in like the organization's name if we wanted to. We have the renewal link, and then if they have any questions, they can reach out. They could also reply to this email. So then you have like the history of this whole exchange.
Megan, how did you I get the email, the pre-populated email, but how did you get to the subject line and
All right. So are you seeing this spider here? You're going to click this action here that says send email.
Okay.
And then it will all pull up.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, Robson, I saw your question, and do you need anything?
Yeah, so what's going on with Blueprint?
Everything's fine. It just needed a refresh.
Gotcha. Okay.
But on some of those accounts you just created, they need default templates.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Blueprint should be enabled for them.
Cool. Thanks.
So I have another question, Megan, very quickly. When you did the show the text on the landing page, I did an edit on that text, saved it, and then when I did the send email, that text revision did not show up. So
It's not, yeah, it's not going to, because they're completely separate actions. So you'll just want to grab whatever edit you made here, copy it, and then you can paste it into this action here.
Okay, so the question then becomes, if I do make an edit on the show the test question link,
Yep.
it doesn't save. I mean, it doesn't transfer into the send email link. And what happens if, I have no further edits? Is it going to carry forward?
Yeah, so yeah, because this is its own action, its own contained action, you're just editing this right here. So it's not going to tell any other place to update. So you would need to manually update it here as well. Yeah, unfortunately.
So then the question becomes, if you have a test email, can you make changes that are permanent and will just carry on throughout the campaign?
So kind of. So let's say we have a full campaign built out here and we know when they say, yes, they want to renew, that we want to use this action. Like we've made our edits on these two. We want to use this every single time. What we can do is we can name this workflow. Let's do like fiscal year 25 renewal. Yes, to renewing. So we can give it a name and star it. So then if there's other questions in our sequence, we can just come in and click our Save Workflows button, copy that workflow in, and then we just map it if we need to remap it. So then that way you can keep the same workflow.
Okay.
All right, so if you have everything edited here and you're ready to go, we're going to go ahead and toggle it on. So currently this workflow is turned off. It will not work if you test it. So we just want to toggle it on. And that's why we test every email, every check-in out of PropFuel, because that's where you're going to find if something's broken, because we have a lot of moving pieces in these campaigns. So testing it is where you are going to find when things are broken. And then we're just going to work our way down here. And but before I move on, any questions? Anybody need more time on that first one? Okay. So for our next workflow, if they select they're no longer the billing or primary contact, we're going to redirect them to another question here. And we're going to find out who you should be contacting. So you see at the end of this action, there's a little box with an arrow in it. We're going to click that. So once you go ahead and click that little pop-up arrow, and it's going to open in a new tab. All right, so here is our branch question. It is an open-ended one, and you can see that by the little speech bubble here. And the question is, please provide your company's new primary contact name and email address so we can contact them about renewal. And if you click the pencil button on this question, you can also see it's set up as an open-ended. We are requiring a response. However, they could close out of this window and not answer. It is what it is. And then you can see here, it's an open text. We could also require it to be like an email address, phone number, but we're just going to do open text, and we can do a single line or a paragraph. Then what we're going to do is we're going to click the right arrow button. It's going to open up that slider, and we're just going to review this action. So if they type anything in to that field, that open-ended, and submit it, we're going to have two actions here. We're going to show text on a landing page. So we need to thank them. We will reach out to the new primary contact about membership renewal. Here is the link in case you need it. If you have any questions, here's who you can reach out to.
Can you make that a forward email? Like, again, I'm sorry, I had to get up for a quick second. So say, you know, I'm not the person who pays it, it's my accounting person. Can you set it to forward? You know, this becomes awesome. Thanks for the heads up. Here's how to forward this invoice and renewal information to them. Like I'm thinking way outside the box because we're a way outside the box group. So
yeah, absolutely. So you could do that either at this step or this previous step here. If they say I'm no longer the billing contact, you could just send them an email immediately. That's like, please forward this on to the billing contact. We'll also collect, we'll also reach out to them as well. But yeah, you could absolutely do that.
Wow.
All right, so make any edits you have there, and then we'll move on. We have an alert set up here. So if somebody types something in, fills us in, we want to immediately email somebody on your team with this new information so then they can reach out to them. So if you click the send alert action, you'll see you can select your recipients here or type in an email address. So let's say I want to do membership at, it's not even a real email address, I'm making it up. And then we have a subject line here, renewals, new primary contact. You can update the subject line if you want. I recommend keeping in the PropFuel alert so you know where it's coming from, like why you're getting this. And then we have just a little note here. The primary contact at This is a token here pulling in their organization name. Please take the necessary steps to update the account and contact them about renewal. So in this alert, it automatically includes the question that was asked, how they responded, so their open-ended response, their name, and their email address. So one thing that is missing is the organization they work for, so that's why I've added it in here. All right, and if you're ready, go ahead and toggle this workflow on so it will work. Anybody need more time on this one? All right, and then you can just close this tab and it takes you right back here. So if they say they're no longer the billing contact, we're also going to remove them from this campaign. We're not going to keep bugging them. They aren't that person that pays it. We're just going to remove them. And then we're also sending an alert here too. You can delete this one if you don't want it. But this one is just to let you know they've clicked this and it should be coming in that they've given you some new information. Go ahead and turn that one on when you're ready. All right, anybody need more time on this no longer the primary contact workflow? All right, we're just going to scroll down a bit and we're going to work on the we are undecided or need more time. So if people that select this, we'll keep them in the campaign. If there is a full campaign built out with more check-in questions, but we're going to branch them to find out why they're unsure or what they need. So again, just like previously, we have the name of our branch question here, and then we're going to click the little pop-out arrow to take us directly to that branch question. It opens in that new tab when you click it. And then you can see here, is there something holding your company back from renewing? This is just a simple open-ended question. Again, you can click that pencil icon to see that. And then we can click that right arrow button to open up our workflows. If they type anything in, we're going to thank them for their feedback. And then if they decide to renew before we reach out again, you can do so here. All right, and then we're also going to send an alert with that information of what they wrote to somebody on your team. So I just want to select the recipient there. And if you need to add in the name, we'll just click this little driver's license button right next to where it says email body text, and we can grab that token in here, organization, and just click this right arrow button and it will insert that field. And then save your action. And toggle it on when you're ready. All right, anybody need more time on that one? All right, we'll just close this tab out. It'll take us back to our campaign and we're going to toggle this workflow on so it now works. All right, we have one more workflow to review and get turned on. And it's for people who say no, they're not renewing. We're going to remove them from the campaign and we're also going to ask a follow-up question. So again, we're going to click the little pop-out arrow to open this branch question up into a new tab. And this one is a little bit meatier. So you'll see here, what is holding your company back from renewing? And then we have down here, this is an open-ended, tell us more, optional. If you click the right arrow button, you'll see a snapshot of the question here with our options. We don't have the budget, we haven't used the benefits, we've merged or been acquired by another company, something else. The something else is that other option. Now, if you want to add options or change any of these, again, on the question itself, you can just click this pencil button and add an option or change whatever we have here. All right, and just like before, we're going to work our way from the top to bottom, but I just noticed these are out of order, and that drives me a little crazy. So we're going to reorder them, and I'll show you how to do that. It's actually pretty easy. You'll see here, there is on our workflow box here, there's 2 arrows pointing up and down. If you hover your mouse over it, you get a plus sign. You can click it and then drag it to move it to the spot you want to move it to. So I'm just going to move those 2 up there. So now they're in order. All right, so let's work on the we don't have the budget. We'll click the show text on landing page action there. And you'll see here, there's a bulleted list. This bulleted list is AI generated. So review it, read through it, and update whatever you need to. If there is like a really awesome benefit that isn't on here, add it. Maybe put it to the top if it's like a huge savings or a huge reason people are members. Go ahead and add that. And then we have the link to renew in case. So basically what we're doing, they've told us no, they're not planning to renew. They've told us it's because they don't have it in the budget. And we're just saying, we understand, we hear you. Before you go, here's a reminder of the benefits you get. In case you change your mind, here's how you can renew. So we're ending the conversation on a high note. We don't want to just say like, peace out, don't ever come back. We just want to, we hear you, we understand. Here's what you get for your membership. We'd love to have you back. I'll give you just a few moments here on this one. All right, anybody need more time on this one? Just let me know. Okay, we'll save that action and then we'll toggle it on. Again, that's just our little check mark. It's done. Also, it will now work. This workflow will work. All right, we haven't used the benefits. We'll click the show text on landing page. These are going to be the exact same bullets. So if you did make changes over here on this one, you can just copy them and paste them into this workflow here. But they haven't used the benefits. We're sorry to hear that. Before you go, here are the most popular benefits that we offer. We'll toggle that one on when you're ready. And then we'll move on to the option of we've merged or been acquired by another company. Anybody need more time on the we haven't used the benefits option? All right. All right, so for the we've merged or been acquired by another company, we're going to click the show text on landing page action. And you'll see here, we're glad we connected. You may be able to continue your membership through your new company. We will also follow up with you ways to discuss that your company can retain its membership. So depending on how you process these, you might want to update this language. Maybe their new company who's acquired them isn't a member, but the previous one was. So you can add that information in here. We also have an alert set up to send somebody on your team an email, so you can follow up with that as well. And this could be, so this person, the people you're reaching out to were previously primary contacts or billing contacts at another company. So this could be where you provide like a link to their your corporate memberships, organizational memberships, so they can then pass that along to who can help make that decision now that they've been acquired. And just like Jason suggested earlier, you could do a send email action. Hey, pass this along to the decision maker. We'd love to have your new company as a member. And we have an alert set up here, so you can click send alert and update that as well. And then if we ever want to add an action, you can just click the add another action button here and you'll see all of the actions we have available. Once you are, or if you are ever connected to an AMS or an email marketing platform, you'll see other actions added down here to the bottom. We have lots of actions that can take place within our system, moving them through different campaigns, especially like nurture campaigns. If they say, yes, they plan to renew, but haven't renewed. Branching to different questions, just redirecting them to URLs, sending them emails and alerts. All right, and then our last show text on landing page for something else. They've literally said something else, another reason. We're just thanking them. We'll review what they've said and get back to them if there's anything you can do to help them. We'll toggle that one on. And then our last one, if they type anything into the open-ended response, we want to send that to somebody on the team. So we'll just go ahead and add a recipient there and save your action and toggle it on. All right, I feel like I went kind of quick through those last ones, so I'll give you just a few moments.
Megan, when I look at the question workflows, I am not seeing the options to there was different options that you had, and like show the text and
Yep.
show
If you click the button that says add another action,
Mhm.
and that will
Okay,
pop up. Is that what you were looking for?
I think so. I guess I'll just have to play with it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. All right, anybody need more time on this? All right, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna close this tab out on our browser because we're done with this one. It'll take us back to the main campaign and we will turn this workflow on. That's probably the hardest step, going through all of these in your campaigns. And also keep in mind, we used to have to build these everything from scratch. Click the show text on landing page, type up our content. So this at least gives you a foundation to start from and takes off like 75 to 80% of the work. Something else cool I want to show you guys. I'm just going to click add another action here. I'm going to click show text on landing page and I'm going to show you our magic wand here. So the magic wand auto generates text for you. It looks at the question we're asking and the response they selected and then generating some content here. So my account isn't like APFC isn't a real association. So it's just using its best guess here. But yours will probably be a little bit more relevant. I did it in a new action because if you do it in one that already has text, it's going to erase everything you had. And we don't want to do that. But anyways, I just want to show you we have that little magic wand. So if you ever build from scratch, you can just generate some content and then start from there. Add from it, remove from it, do what you need to here. All right, I just canceled that out. All right, so if you are back in your main campaign, you can either close this slider window by clicking the X or just click anywhere outside of it to close it. And then we are going to click our gear icon and we're going to look at the email template. All right. So once you click that gear icon, we're going to click templates. And you'll see here, we just have an email template set up and the others we're not going to worry about today. We're just using the default that we have set up in your accounts. We're going to click the edit button on our email template. All right, does everybody have the email template pulled up? Give me a thumbs up or a nod. Cool. All right, so this is just like any other email template editor that you've ever used. We have different content blocks, and then we have some template settings on the right. So you can see here, we have some text in here. You can edit this however you please. Where it says in the middle in the gray box, this is sample text, your question display text will go here. This is the placeholder for your question. So when you send a test email, this will dynamically populate with the question we're asking and our buttons. This placeholder is just to help you update like the style of it. If you want the button colors to be different colors, you can do that with a custom hex code here if you'd like. And then we have our signature line down here. And if you wanted to add other content blocks, you just need to select a content block in your template, and then you can click the plus sign up in the top left corner. And we have all of these different content blocks available. So if we wanted to do a headshot for our signature line, we could add in this block here. So we could do an image with some text to the right of it if we wanted to. I'm just going to delete that out because I don't want that for this purpose. And then over here on the right side, we have our from name, the reply to email address, and then the subject line. So if you need to make any edits, go for that here. And you can also, in this template, add in personalization tokens. So we could add in their organization's name or first name. If you just put your cursor in any of the text spots, you put your cursor where you want it. It's the S in brackets in our toolbar here. You'll see the tokens then in here. All right, does anybody need more time on the email template? All right. If you've made any changes, go ahead and save your template. Then we will close this pop-up here. And we're going to click the gear icon again, and we're going to select send test email. All right, when you get that one, click send test email, it's going to auto-populate your email address. If you want to add in other email addresses, you just do a comma space in those email addresses. And then go ahead and send yourself a test email. And that should arrive in your inbox pretty quickly. And this is what mine looks like here. All right, so I'm going to test it. I'm going to go ahead and click, yes, we'd like to renew now. You can see here a page is going to load. Has my logo up here. That's great news. I didn't have my first name on file, so it didn't put my first name in there, but let me do that really quick so I can show you what that looks like. And again, this would just be uploaded with your spreadsheet, or if you become a client, we can do it via your AMS. But as you can see there, I just refreshed to pull in my first name there. And then we have the link to renew. And then also I just received the plain text email. Here's that one. With that link. All right, where'd that email go? Then if they say I'm no longer the billing contact, so you'll just click through all of these, make sure everything looks the way you want it to look. And then you can see all of the actions here. Undecided. All right, I'm going to type in unsure of our benefits, and I want to show you what the alert looks like that comes in. Oh, there we go. All right, so this is what the alert looks like. It kind of comes in a little bit scary, bright red. But you can see here, don't reply. But you can see here, the org name is pulled in, and then you can see the question and then what I typed in, and then my name and email address here. And then you can click to view the campaign or the contact. All right. Any questions about this? All right, so we have gotten through all of our steps of editing a campaign and getting it ready. Testing is that last portion where you make sure everything is ready to go. Last steps are to upload contacts and get it live. So to upload our contacts for this trial purpose, in our campaign, we'll click the Enrolled Contacts tab, and then you can click the Upload Contacts button. You will need a CSV file with first name, at least, email address, and organization name. And then we can upload that. You will, I don't think I have a test file to do here. Let me get one real quick and I'll show you what it looks like. Let me. All right. All right, so you'll click Upload Contacts, select File. I'm going to select my CSV file, and you'll see here on the left side, it's the fields, the columns, and my CSV file, and then I'm selecting where to import it as. So for the first name field, I'm going to skip over the system fields because I want it to be our custom field here for the first name right there. Our email address, we do want to do it for that system field, and then the organization name, we'll do it for that custom field. Any questions about that? All right, you'll click Review Import, and then you'll see here up at the top, would you like to assign contacts to a campaign? You have the campaign here, and we're adding contacts to the campaign. You could also remove contacts from a campaign this way. It tells you how many people you have in your campaign. It counts email addresses. There has to be an email address to import, and then you'll see a snapshot of what it's pulling in. So if you notice like, oh, I have that mapped wrong, you can edit the mapping. I'm going to go ahead and click Import Contacts, and then it's going to work its magic to import those contacts. I'm just going to go ahead and navigate back to my, okay, that went pretty quickly. I'm going to go ahead and navigate back to my campaign. I can click that Enrolled Contacts tab, and I now have one person in my campaign. The status is active, but they're pending. They're going to be pending until we go live with our campaign. And when you are ready to go live, since we have some branch questions in here, we would most likely go live from our campaigns page. And you'll see here, right here is our renewal campaign for September workshop. You see it's an email. And then you see we have these web externals underneath it. These are our branch questions. So we will get these live by clicking the button with the 3 dots, go live, and then we'll just check go live again to confirm it. So we have to do our branch questions first. before we can do the main campaign, because you don't want a main campaign to go live with an email to anything in draft mode, because anything in draft mode, all the responses are going to be marked as test responses. And then if you ever get an error, it's usually because we're not doing it in the right order. All right, so let me go back up here. So what we would do before we make our campaign live is select the date we want this to send out on. I'm just going to select an arbitrary date in the future. I will click the draft button and select go live, and then go live. Now my campaign is live on September 26th. When this date comes, this email will automatically send out. If you click the settings tab in your campaign, you can also see like the sending window. We went ahead and defaulted it to early morning. Here, I believe everybody should be early morning, but you can always edit that to a different time during the day that you want this to send. And then we have other options in here that you guys really won't need for this testing purpose, but that is what that looks like. Also, when this date comes and goes, this check-in is going to disappear from your design tab. It will land on your history tab, and you will see all of the data that comes in here. All right, any questions?
You can get in from your bounces, right? If it's 10%, you can click in, see why they bounced.
Yep, exactly.
If it's out of office, see if it's...
Yep.
Yeah.
You can click the view delivery metrics button, and then you can export your bounces and see if it was a soft or hard bounce and the reason why they bounced. Yep. And okay, my history is gone because I went live. Let me send a quick test email here. I want to show you a couple things here. All right, let me refresh this. Refresh that again. Okay, oh, it's not showing that. So we have a show workflows. We use the word workflows a lot. It can get a little confusing, but we have this button here that says show workflows, and you can see link clicks in the send email actions and also on the show text on landing page actions. It's just not populating here for me yet with this because I did click some links. I wanted to show it to you because it's really cool. Yeah, it's just not going to show.
Again, I'm gonna have, like I said, a ton of questions. So we've got a membership committee. They love to see graphs, and again, I think you're getting to them right now of how that represents out of 70% immediately fired, 20% said kiss my grits, 10% said, you know, we're going to change up our people, you know, but that represents in those pages after that I can show and make them go ooh and ah, right?
Yep. So right here, this will update and show you that. Let me actually show you, let me show you a live campaign. I can use the one that we used in the examples here so I can show you what this looks like. And their renewal campaign. So we have, yeah, so we can even add conversion charts on here. This will only work if you're connected to an AMS, but we can create a conversion list so we can see people who are in the campaign, received a check-in question, and now have a future expiration date. And then you can see this chart here, that 38% engagement rate, and you can see like, yes, I'd like to renew now. And then if they said no, this is why they're not renewing. And you can export this as a PDF, send it off to your membership committee so you can show them high level what kind of responses you're getting.
Cool. Okay. And I'm sure we can go in there if it's exportable, we can query or we can graph against it, record types, the you know, member types, they're faster to do it than other member types. Yeah.
Yep. There are filters in here. You're not going to see any private data here. But there are filters here that you can add based off of like their member type, whatever. So we could segment the data further. But yeah, at a high level, you can just export the full campaign as a PDF and send that over to your team. But you can see here all the engagement they're getting.
Can you delete a campaign?
Yeah, you sure can. So on the settings tab, you scroll all the way to the bottom, we have an archive campaign button. So you can archive it. You always have access to your archived campaigns. We do have an option to like completely delete. Don't recommend doing that. I recommend just archiving it.
Even if it's just a test.
Yeah, I mean, you can delete it if it's truly a test, but if it's like this type of campaign with all this data, we would never want to
So
delete that.
how much of this data flows back into their records, like their records in your AMS?
It would only flow back if we tell it to flow back. So
Okay.
in our actions, we would have an action to do that right back. So they're on your memberships.
Yeah.
If they click this, we're then updating that. So that's only how anything is updated in the AMS.
So like if they came back and said, we need more time, we could set that to flow back in. So we know that every year they always take more time. This isn't something new. Or they're saying that they've changed their primary contact 50 for the 50th time in the 50th year. We can start seeing that data too.
Yep, it's going to write to just a single field though. So it might be one where you need like a 2024 field, 2025
Yeah.
field.
Okay.
But yeah, and we can also, some of my clients have, they're like on annual due cycles. So they have an option in their campaign that says, I plan to renew in January. So we'll remove them from this campaign and just reach out to them in January.
We have a sprinkling of those as well. Don't talk to me until, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Is this being recorded by any,
Yes,
by the way?
it is. It did start like 15 minutes in, but yes, it's recorded.
Are you going to email the recording?
Yeah, somebody from our sales team will give you that. Any other questions here? I can also show you. So when you're connected to an AMS, you'll see this workflows tab here. And this is where we're automating this campaign. It's an evergreen campaign. It's living and breathing. And we're telling it their expiration date is within the next 62 days, but more than 58 days from now. And they're this membership type, pull them into the campaign. And then we also, so we're doing it for each of these member types because there are some member types they don't want to talk to. And then we have a suppression list on here of people who are on auto renewals, who have renewed. And then like if students or non-members happen to get pulled in, we want to suppress them. So yeah, lots of different ways to really manage your evergreen campaigns here. All right, any other questions for me? Mike, do you want to let them know what the next steps will be for them?
Yeah, so I think somebody from PropFuels is going to reach out to y'all, like, provided you launch a campaign, and just maybe to kind of review the results. And if there's anything that we can help with, like if anybody needs like, one-on-one assistance or anything like that, helping build a campaign, reach out to us. Like I'm happy to meet with you on a one-on-one basis and help kind of work through some of those things. But yeah, looking forward to see like the great responses that y'all get and look forward to being in touch afterward.
Barry, Clement, do you think you're going to send your campaigns out?
Well, it's we're in the process of changing AMS systems. So this does sound very attractive, but it will depend on what we do. It's like it will be a little bit of a long investment for you guys.
Yeah.
But and I couldn't do a lot of it for whatever reason. But anyway, I would like to stay in touch because when we change, I want to explore this with management.
You could even send this check-in out, just to gauge if people are planning to renew. I think that would be cool to just see the stats. Even if you do like a subset, you could do like 100 people and just see what their kind of responses get. Barry, what about you?
I'm actually going to recommend this to a couple groups that I'm working with. It's much simpler than using your regular marketing automation system to send out the renewals. And yeah, I just find it simpler, easier, and gets better information quicker than you would, because not all marketing email systems can do everything here.
Yeah, exactly.
Or at least easily. Let's put it that way. You could probably make it. You could do it. It would take some work.
Exactly. That's what
I love the task list actually. It means you don't forget things.
Yeah, yeah. I just do that for our workshops.
I
Because
wish you guys should put it in the, it's really
in the
smart.
platform, yeah. We've talked about that. That's funny. Awesome. Jason,
Yeah,
you're
we're the long sell. We are in the process of now a 8-year adventure of trying to get our association to move off of their older database into the new version of it. 8 years. We actually just got our hands on it this morning, on the cloud-based version of it. 8 years. So we are the long sell. It took me 7 to get open water, 8 to get the new version of our database. So I want it badly, need it badly, could use it badly. Would help a lot of people in our world do a lot of different things, because I look at it not only in just the membership sense, but meetings, new products, services, educational resources, and not only that, the data, if they say no, yeah, I'm not interested in this, could really help people stop wasting times and spinning their wheels.
exactly.
So it's just a matter of convincing and getting back on the wagon with the hay bales of, hey, let's move past where we are now and adding something else. For us, it's always the money too. So we're going to have to figure out financially if, when, how, where it makes sense. And
Yeah.
with the other items I'm looking at to take our tech from a table to a stack, it's going to be a whole, hopefully not another 8 years. So
Yeah, I agree. I think too, if you do get a campaign like this live, you'll then have the data to back up how it works.
yeah,
I think a
It's-
lot of people like seeing that data.
yeah. I mean, and again, I've talked to some folks, funny enough, on this call too, of our data on the surface looks great. It's just a matter of convincing them the lower below the ice isn't what we think it is. So it's fun.
Cool.
And
Awesome.
how does pricing work?
Mike?
I'm happy to talk through that at a high level. We don't like advertise any pricing on our website. Like if y'all want to get a specific pricing quote for your organization, you can feel free to reach out to us and I'm happy to, talk through that with you. Essentially, there's 2 pieces to it. There's a one-time setup fee that covers the fully managed onboarding process with your client success manager, as well as the setup of any and all integrations. So that's a one-time fee. And then from there, essentially, it's an annual subscription. And the price is essentially based on the number of active members that you have. So in y'all's case, it would be active member organizations. So you'd pay a per member per year price that's based on that company member number. And with that, essentially everything is unlimited. So it's unlimited user licenses for your staff, unlimited emails, unlimited campaigns, and it's also unlimited contacts, which is a really important distinction. So, the price is based on the 500 member companies, for instance. You use PropFuel for all of the individuals within those organizations, those
That's
companies.
fantastic.
And then prospective members, lapsed members, non-members, anybody outside of that is just included and unlimited at no cost. So that's kind of how it works.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I mean, the blueprints have really changed the game for us. We have a ton in here, even for event registrations, finding out if they're planning to attend, should we save them a spot? If they're not attending, why they're not attending. And then if they tell us they're not attending, we stop marketing to them. And if you use systems like MailChimp or Informs, we can write back to those email marketing systems so you can create a suppression list in those campaigns. So you stop marketing to people who tell you they're not interested. So yeah, so many great use cases. And what's really cool is profile write backs. So without even logging in, people can update data. So let's say we need to update their job title. We ask, hey, this is what we have on file. Is this correct? Yes or no? If they say no, what is your correct job title? They type it in, click submit. We shoot it over to your AMS. Seamless. They don't have to log in and it's done.
Are you integrated with HubSpot?
Yep. We have a HubSpot connector.
Great.
Yep. All right. Well, that's all I had for you today. Feel free to stick around if you have any questions. Otherwise, you guys are free to go. I appreciate your time and attention today.
Megan, thank you for teaching us and showing us, especially those of us who aren't current users,
Really,
or who are having to go back and fight the good fight and flag the good flag, for the value and benefits of your guys' service. So thank you, seriously.
For sure. Yep. We're passionate about the product and we love it. We see the success every day. So it's a really cool tool. All right. Thank you guys.
Thanks everyone so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye.